Hey everyone, and welcome to Adventures by D. Tonight we have a special panel with us celebrating all things Star Wars. Woo. So tonight I am Kylo Kris, and this is Darth Dave. And we wanted to bring to you just lots of fun getting ready for May the 4th in our house. I probably should take this off because there's probably an echo. But it's a big celebration in our house, May the 4th. So Dave wanted to put this together and bring all these guys together to talk about all their favorite Star Wars things. So I want to introduce who's on the stream with us. So I'll start with kind of how I'm seeing everybody laying out. We have Dawn from Hitchhiking Bones here.
Rising Moons.
We have Rob from Disney Connections.
What's happening?
We have Tina from T. Marie's Place.
Hello.
And we have Michelle from Monarch Moments.
Hey, everyone.
Welcome, everybody.
Welcome.
So let's start with just a channel, kind of a round robin of give a little bit on your channel before we get into Star Wars. Hey, Rhonda, thanks for joining. And then we can get into Star Wars. Quickly, we're Adventures by D, based out of Georgia. We do a lot of Disney and Star Wars content. Also, recently, a lot of Dollywood stuff. Universal, Six Flags, our local park. And we do 1 to 2 videos a week, some shorts, and a live stream every other Thursday. So thanks so much for joining. And link to all these wonderful channels are in the description.
Yes.
So please check them out. I know Karki's going to put them up as we go out through the night here. So that's Adventures by D. I'm just going to let's go with Dawn from Hitchhiking Bones next.
Just a little bit about our channel. We have primarily Disney content. We love Disney, but it's not completely limited to Disney. You know, our trips, just adventure. We love to travel, but our main passion is Disney. And we started the channel coming up on 2 years ago in October. And we do a live stream every Tuesday night. It's called Hitchhiker Chat at 9 p.m. Central and 10 p.m. Eastern, and really have a lot of fun with that. I was telling Rob, we also did a series on all of the Mandalorian seasons 1 and 2, and that's called Mandomania. That's up on our channel. Just got back from Disney, so we've got some new live streams from the parks and some shorts, and we just love Disney. So, and we really appreciate you guys inviting us on. William is not able to join us tonight. He is taking care of a class that he teaches, and so he wasn't able to come. So he extends his regrets at not being able to be here.
Well, yeah, send him our best. I know he's a big Star Wars guy too. I see him on the streams, and he's got his droid behind him that he built in Galaxy's Edge.
He is, yeah, he loves it.
Michelle, why don't you go from Monarch Moments?
Sure, yeah. Well, we consider ourselves more of a lifestyle channel. We love to go to Disney, but we like to take you guys on our adventures to all the different places that we go. And, it's just, we want to build a community of people and just, network and be there for each other. And, just try and be inspirational and bring you inspirational things. And that's pretty much our story. So, yeah.
And Monarch Moments just hit 1,000 subs.
Yes.
So congratulations.
Yeah.
Awesome. Congratulations.
All you guys, so I appreciate it.
All right. Well, thank you, Michelle, for being on. Tina, you want to go next?
Hi, I'm Tina from T. Marie's Place, and I've been streaming about a year now, and you'll find Disney, Harry Potter, crafting, cooking, kind of like health vlogs and stuff on my channel. It's variety. I have a live stream every Wednesday night at 5 p.m. Eastern time called Wednesday Whateverness. And we have book club hosted on my channel, me and a bunch of other friends on Mondays at 3 o'clock. And it's a lot of fun. So yeah, that's me.
Awesome. Thanks for being on. Okay, Rob, I let the ladies go first. You're up now.
Hey, first of all, I just want to say awesome hat, by the way. That's a great hat you got there.
Thank you.
So I'm Rob from Disney Connections. I'm only one half. My other the better half is actually out getting pedicures right now. So she might pop in and give a little bit of her Star Wars wisdom at some point later here in the show, maybe, or maybe it's just me. Disney Connections is a channel just to make all sorts of connections. We're going to connect through subscription boxes and unboxings. We've also done some walkthroughs in the park, and we've got a couple of live shows. We go live every Saturday morning at 11 p.m. or no, sorry, 11 that to be in the morning, 11 a.m. Pacific time, and then we do Taco Tuesday at 9:30. Well, 7:30 Pacific time, where we talk about all kinds of Disney Plus shows. And actually, next week, this coming Taco Tuesday, we're going to have Matt from Mickey Loot on, and it's going to be an amazing show. So, thank you, Adventures by D, for having us, and we're pretty excited for this show tonight.
Awesome. We're very excited. When I looked at the calendar, you know, we stream every other Thursday, so this is the closest Thursday we had to May the 4th. I mean, I knew like 6 weeks ago, oh, this is Star Wars night. We have to get some other folks on.
Yeah.
Because I'm a big Star Wars nerd, as Kris would say, when we're not on camera. So I'll just say, or off camera. So I'm going to start with Star Wars memories, and we'll go around the table here. But you know, my Star Wars memory was as a young boy. I remember when the first movie came out. So I wasn't a tiny baby, but I do remember it. And I remember
Always a tiny baby.
I remember we tried to go to one show and it was sold out, and my dad went to the movie with us, and he never went to movies. And then we pressured him into driving all the way across town to finding a theater with 6 seats that we could all sit together. So I remember that and the stress of getting over there. And then the other thing I remember here, spoiler alert, I remember everybody clapping when the Death Star blew up, and it was a full theater. And that rarely happens these days, back when we were going to movies and anybody claps for anything really, let alone being in a full theater. So just a lot of fond memories. And then to me, it means family too, because I went as a kid. I took my nephews when I was a little bit older for the Phantom Menace and this, I guess 1, 2, and 3. And then Kris and I took our kids to the last 3. We went to, the last 3 that they put out, 7, 8, and 9. So it's like a nice timeline of my family throughout the years, as the trilogy of the movies lined up pretty well. And I always remember at what point in life I was in when we went to the different sets of the movies.
Oh, and Dave should mention, like, every weekend he watches one of the movies. He'll be on the treadmill and I'll hear Star Wars going from the basement. Always he watches one of them. Usually the original, but yeah.
Yeah. Tina, what are your Star Wars memories?
So believe it or not, I had never seen Star Wars before, until I was a grown woman, and I got made fun of quite a bit. And so it wasn't until could have been about 5 years ago, I want to say, a bunch of my friends brought over their DVDs, and they made me watch A New Hope. And then I continued to watch the other 2 movies, Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. And because at first I was like, what is the hype about Star Wars? And I just remember growing up, Elijah Wood, who played Frodo in Lord of the Rings, he was one of my favorite actors, and he loved Star Wars. And I would always think to myself, what is the big deal about Star Wars? And never really got into it. And then when I watched it, and I was like, oh, okay, that's what the big deal is. And so now I'm hooked.
Good.
Michelle, do you have memories of the Star Wars movies?
I do. I mean, my earliest memory is just,
Don't let Garrett answer for you. You answer the question.
I think, my memory is the Star Wars, and it's funny because I'm not a huge Star Wars geek by any means, and so I get the movies all mixed up because they came out in different order. So I call it the first Star Wars, which I think is The New Hope, but it's really like number 6 or number 3. I don't know what order, but it's the one, the original. I guess I'll call it the original. And I think what stands out the most to me was I saw it, when it first came out, and just the battle scenes and the fighter scenes, especially when they were going through the Death Star, you know, and flying, you know, in and out, and everything was like so close. It was just really, you know, I've always loved airplanes and flying, and so I just was really mesmerized by those scenes, how they could just maneuver in between, like kind of flying inside a building, you know, like getting in and all that stuff. So that was my, you know, one of my memories of Star Wars was the cool fight scenes with the planes.
Cool.
With the aircraft.
Don, how about you? What do you remember about the movies? Or favorite memory and anything with Star Wars, really?
My favorite memory is also of the original coming out, and I was a kid when Star Wars came out, but it was such a groundbreaking movie that the hype around that movie was just incredible. You know, we've just never seen anything like it. You know, the lines, I remember standing in line with my sister for that movie. And again, we still have the soundtrack, the vinyl LP from that. She kept it. It's pristine. It's in great shape, even though we listened to it a million times. There were so many things about that movie that were groundbreaking. And it was lines stretched around, you know, the blocks, people wanting to see it. It was just an amazing movie. It was different than any movie that had come out. George Lucas had to invent a lot of technology for that movie. So there was some new, you know, it looks old to us now, but then it was pretty cutting edge. So that's my favorite part, I guess, of all of it. I love the fact that George Lucas didn't give up on making those movies, because he had this whole story in his head and he wanted to continue making the movies. You know, the 4, 5, and 6, technically, I guess, Star Wars, Return of the Jedi and Empire Strikes Back are always going to be my favorites. And just, you know, sitting in our room listening to that, you know, listening to the Cantina music on the record player and seeing that movie. And then, you know, I just got back from Disney World this week, where I took my granddaughter to Galaxy's Edge for the first time. So, so we've kind of come full circle. You know, my son William obviously loves it. You know, I've taught my kids to love it. And so it's just kind of a generational thing with our family.
Oh, Rhonda, we don't do Star Trek. Come on now. That's blasphemy, you know, on the Star Wars screen. Or at least I don't. I like them both. I'm just kidding. Rob, what about you? What are some of your favorite Star Wars memories?
Well, I love the part about the LP and vinyl, because I love, you know, the history of it all. But I was the guy who built the system in my pickup truck in high school, and I was playing like the soundtrack on CD, you know, and loud as all get out. So yeah, absolutely love that. My very first memory of Star Wars is actually Return of the Jedi. And this was, we had moved out to Oregon, and, you know, didn't have a lot of family and friends, but my mom actually let me go with a neighbor who we barely knew, to the theater to watch the movie. And so I was young. Just so you know, A New Hope came out just before I was born. So
yeah, me too.
So I was young, and, you know, got to go with the neighbors, you know, and I remember all sorts of emotions from that, like being scary because I don't really know these people, and they're kind of strangers, you know, and I'm not around my parents. So that was kind of fun. Then they ended up being really good friends. But then my next memory is the re-release. So back in, what was that, 96, 97? Is that about right? When they started re-releasing, remastering. Yeah. There was a theater here in Portland. It was the largest theater, and I went and saw every single one of the re-releases at that theater on opening night, when all the fanfare and, you know, everybody comes in their costumes and everything. And so that was pretty amazing. And that kind of moved us into when they released 1, 2, and 3, and then finally again, you know, 7, 8, and 9. Is it became a family event. So we would take our kids, and both my wife and I are teachers, And so we would get out of school on Friday for Christmas break, and that's when the movies have been released historically. And so we would get a ticket for like 1-2 o'clock in the morning and end up taking our kids and staying up until 4 or 5 in the morning watching the movie. So that was those are my 3 biggest memories that Star Wars has given me.
Yeah, there's so many movies now and so many things. It's impossible to go over them all on a stream, but there's the movies. To me, like I said, they just remind me of different family moments. The 3 trilogies are spaced out perfectly for different stages of our lives, or my life anyway.
Yeah, speak for yourself.
Yeah. we have broken out the Oga's Cantina drink mugs. Even I dug them up out of Manville.
I realized I was showing the wrong. Yeah.
These are from Oga's. I think the
You guys have any of these from Oga's?
No.
That's the porg, and this is what the Yub Nub comes in.
So this is the non-alcoholic one comes in this, and an alcoholic one comes in that. Or you can get the drink and not pay for the mug too.
I think it's only $45 with the
mug.
drink.
This is like
Perfect.
seriously for that one.
Seriously, I'm gonna use it for that much. I'll use it a second time.
But it sits in our. It's like a little thing we keep, a keepsake. So I don't think we've drank out of them since. So special night. I do have a memory myself. So Dave and I, we were in Indianapolis one time, and we went to Star Wars Celebration. And when was that, Dave? Like 2000?
2002.
Yeah, some of 2002. So this is like before it was cool to go to the cons. You know what I mean? Like this is a long time ago, and we were already in Indianapolis. We did not go for this, but when we saw it was there, we went to the convention center, and Dave found like the paper pamphlet you got from it, and people were dressed up. At that time, cosplay wasn't necessarily a thing yet, but people were dressed as stormtroopers, and we saw Anthony Daniels. He gave a talk, and he was quite blue in his talk, right, Dave, about stuff he was talking about. I'd never seen him outside of his costume, because the only time you would see him would be the extras on DVDs. You know, like you just didn't see stuff like you do today. So it was really amazing to see that, and to see the different booths and people dressed up at that time. And to think today, like you see it everywhere, right? Like people dressed up, and you have Comic Cons and Dragon Cons and all sorts of stuff now. But like, or even in the parks, you know. So
the young kid in me was wondering, why is C-3PO telling not so family friendly jokes? I don't know.
But that was pretty amazing seeing that. I was like, this is crazy. I can't believe it. Yeah. And then we went to a local science museum several years ago, and they had a night at the museum. And there's a 501st Legion in Atlanta that dresses as Star Wars. Like it's hobbies, amazing costumes, what these folks have, and they make them. And I got to meet an Ewok. There was a real Ewok there, and I met the Ewok. That to me is like the character. Dave and my kid, like I guess my daughter, but my son and Dave, they're like Ewoks, and I threatened to play the Ewok song, the Yub Nub song in the background for us tonight. He's not a fan, but I couldn't. I wanted to be an Ewok for Halloween. Are you kidding? Like I couldn't imagine. So as a kid.
Can we drop the Ewoks now?
Oh. Do you guys have favorite character from any of the Star Wars, either Mandalorian or?
Let's start with Rob. You have a favorite character?
Well, I am like absolutely obsessed with the Mandalorian. I don't know why. I mean, I think the show has just come out, and it's amplified my love for Star Wars, and so I cannot pass anything Mandalorian up. Before Mando, though, it's Wicket. By far, I know you just said we had to get rid of
no. See?
But
he's so cute.
But Wicket is my favorite character of all time in all the Star Wars movies. Yeah.
I like Warwick Davis. That's his name, right? He's cool. He's in all the cons, but I'm not. Okay. Tina, do you have a favorite character?
I do. So I've also have recently become quite obsessed with the Mandalorian. Mando is my absolute favorite because I love the character progression. He's got like this hard shell, and then all of a sudden, like because of this baby Yoda creature, he just you see the warmth and the softness come out of him little by little, and I just absolutely love his character progression. So it's my favorite.
What about you, Michelle? Who's your favorite character?
I don't know if I have a favorite. I mean, I like Chewbacca. He's, big and snuggly, and even though he can get a little angry, I think, I like him, and he's really cool at the park. I especially like seeing him around Galaxy's Edge. He's like so
getting a hug. Getting a hug from Chewbacca is like amazing, right?
And he just is like so much fun, and he interacts like so well with everybody in the park. But I gotta say, as far as other characters, it's kind of funny because I think Garrett always thinks that I act like C-3PO. Kind of annoying. So.
Well, that's cool. Don, what about you? Who's your favorite character?
From the classic series, it's always going to be Han Solo. I absolutely adore Harrison Ford in pretty much everything that I've ever seen him in, but I love him as Han Solo, and I love that he was able to reprise that role, in the last movies. But more recent. Again, I agree with Rob. I think The Mandalorian is the best content we've had in 42 years. Best Star Wars content we've had in 42 years. It's crazy off the charts. Thank you. Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni. Thank you. More recent characters, Ahsoka Tano. It's hands down Ahsoka. William actually told me, been a little while since I watched it, but he said, "Mom, you got to watch the Clone Wars." And for any of you listening who have not watched the Clone Wars, it's an animated series, but the animation is off the charts good. The costuming, who would think that costuming in an animated series would be excellent? It is. It gives you so much background. It tells you what happened during all the Clone Wars, and the history there is really good, and it introduces Ahsoka Tano's character in that. I won't give away too much, but it's fantastic. There are 8 seasons. I really hated it when I got to the last one, but so Harrison Ford, Ahsoka Tano for me.
And then, have you been able to touch Ahsoka's lightsabers in Galaxy's Edge yet? Have you been able to do that?
Oh man, if you've opened up a wound. We were able to go to the Star Wars Trading Post. They recently opened at Disney, at Downtown Disney in Disneyland. The Rainforest Cafe was changed rethemed into Star Wars Trading Post, and we were coming back through LA and were able to go there. It's up on the channel, guys, the Star Wars Trading Post video. Take a look. I think I've got a timestamp when I actually start looking at Ahsoka's lightsabers. They had her lightsaber there from Clone Wars, and they also had her lightsaber from, I'm assuming, Mandalorian and Rebels, Star Wars Rebels, 2 different sets. She uses a white set in Rebels, and she also uses a white set in The Mandalorian. Guys, if you're not interested in buying a lightsaber, just don't pick it up.
Yeah.
It's oh my gosh. Once you pick it up, they are so cool, just off the charts cool. And I should have bought at least 1 pair. Ahsoka uses 2 lightsabers. I should have bought them. I left there just really struggling with myself that I didn't buy a set. Called William on the way home, and he said, "Mom, you should have bought them. They've sold out at Disney World."
Oh my gosh.
Probably not good. So anyway, I had them in my hand, guys, and I didn't buy them, and I'm still mad at myself.
We got to go in August. We visited Disney, and they had Savi's Workshop open where you didn't need to have the lightsaber experience. You didn't have to pay the hundreds of dollars. And so we waited in a line and went in there, and you got to touch every single one that you wanted to. Similar to kind of like your experience in the training. Right. It's really, some of these lightsabers are amazing. I think Ahsoka's was the most amazing to me of the group.
The teenagers are trying to get the lightsabers out of my hands. I'm like, wait, I'm still holding this one.
And
Yeah,
well, I
have no
should have bought
Windu,
that.
so-
I absolutely should have bought Ahsoka's. I would actually rather have bought Ahsoka's, and I will probably, if I get a shot at it, I won't miss out on it again. But rather than build my own, I'd rather have Ahsoka's.
Cool. Rob, did you want to say something?
Oh no, I was really. Where's R2? I thought he was coming
That's
on.
my ringtone. Sorry.
Oh
Somebody, that's his text.
no, I went to downtown Disney. Well, Melanie's not here. She's here in spirit with us, but we went downtown Disney for a touch of Disney and got to go into the trading post, and I didn't get Ahsoka's, but I was really tempted to buy Mace Windu's. So
Yeah,
that was the one I
sure.
wanted.
Nice.
Really, yeah.
Yeah. And did you talk yourself out of it because of the price tag, or what did you? Because they're not cheap. These are big boy and girl toys. They're not cheap.
Yes. Yes. I have more toys right now at 43 than I did at 13. And that was one that I probably should have gone ahead and bought. I mean, $200 or 100, and I think it was like $180 for his. Yeah. I should have just went ahead and bought it. I didn't, and it wasn't the price, and it wasn't the amount of stuff I have on the shelf behind us in our studio. It was, how am I going to put this on a plane?
Oh.
So I didn't want them to have to end up checking it. Right. So we are actually rolling through Anaheim in June. We're going to drive from Texas across and then up to Oregon.
Okay.
It might come home with me then. So we'll see.
Yeah. I'm hoping to get another shot at Ahsoka's too. Well, we'll see.
Dave really wanted to get Darth Maul. He's looked at him twice, but then it's like twice the price tag because you have to buy.
It's like Ahsoka, right? You can't just get one. You got to get two.
I feel like it's sold like a set. Darth Maul, you have to. Yeah, he was like, "How much? How much?" And he's like, "I can't."
Yeah.
One's a big enough investment, and then you have to have two for Darth Maul. Otherwise, it doesn't make much sense.
Right.
But they are, oh my gosh, they are so cool. Ahsoka's came as a pair, but for the pair you buy the hilts, and then you have to buy the blades to go in them. They come in a 36-inch blade, a 31-inch blade, and a 26-inch blade.
Wow!
And so for the two hilts and two 31-inch blades, it was $323.22. I still remember the price. And I should have I should have spent it. Yeah. I should have done it. I'm sorry, I should have done it.
So while we're talking about the lightsabers, let's talk a little bit about Galaxy's Edge, because there was so much lead up to Galaxy's Edge, and maybe it was in my head, but I'm guessing not.
It was in his.
But I've been to both. I'll save my comments though. Let's let other people. Michelle, assuming you've been out to Disneyland, why don't you give us your impressions of Galaxy's Edge? Did it meet your expectation? What did you like? What didn't you like?
And you've probably seen it both, haven't you, Michelle?
Yeah, we saw both. We actually rode Rise of the Resistance the first time at Disney World because it wasn't open at Disneyland yet. So, but they're both very similar. Kind of what struck me the most interesting is that one is in Disneyland and the other is at Hollywood Studios. So it's just, it's just kind of different in that way, in that aspect, that you're like at a totally different park, I guess, and you kind of, I don't know, but it's just very immersive. And I think what struck me the most is the sounds. Like, I don't know if you guys know that, but especially like at night when it's quieter, it's like you can almost hear like the spaceships like going over, like here.
The lighting in there is beautiful at night.
Yeah, it is very beautiful at night. They do such an amazing job, like with the lighting and like all that theming. But it was just very immersive because of all of that. All that surround sound. Plus, we'd seen, the videos obviously on YouTube, so we knew what to expect, and we weren't ones that like wanted to wait and be surprised. Like we wanted to know like everything. So just and I know walking in, I'm trying to remember where we walked in the first time. We thought we were going to go one way, and we had to go around like the south route. So we came in down by Rise of the Resistance and went in that way. So I think it's more of I kind of think it's more aha when you come in the top. And I think there's 3 entrances at Disneyland, and I don't know, are there only 2 at Hollywood Studios?
Yeah.
Yep.
So there's 3 at Disneyland, and so I think that the big one is the furthest north, I guess, the one where there's the Millennium Falcon. That's the cool entrance. So yeah,
Awesome.
everything.
Tina, what about you? What did you think of Galaxy's Edge?
So we were supposed to be in Disney World the week that it opened, but because of Hurricane Dorian, we pushed our trip out a week. And so when we got there, I didn't know what to expect, to be quite honest. I had seen the live streams from like Resort TV One, and some of the other live streamers, and so it's different when you're there in person versus watching it on a stream.
Yeah.
I was blown away by how much of a difference it was and how much better. Not to say that the streams weren't great, don't get me wrong, but when you're there in person, it's like, this whole world is in front of you as opposed to this tiny little screen or a TV screen, and it blew me away. And at one point, my husband took my 2 daughters on Smuggler's Run, and I just had me and my son, and I was pushing him around in the stroller because he was too young for it, and I just took in all the sights and the sounds. I took my time. I actually did a little bit of a vlog on it. It's way back in my page, one of the first videos that I ever posted on my page. And so I just love it. I love it. I love taking the photographs in there, and it just blew me away. Just mind blown.
Don, what were your impressions of Galaxy's Edge?
Well, we were actually were in the park for opening week of Galaxy's Edge in California at Disneyland. We had planned, it was quite by accident, we had planned to spend a week with some friends that live there, and we were getting tickets for Disneyland and what have you, and I was just about to book our flight, and William texted me just as I hit, purchase on the flight and said, "Mom, Galaxy's Edge opens, what was it, May 31st? Was it May 30th? And so, I said, okay, the park's probably going to be crazy that week. They ended up doing reservations. We actually were able to snag a reservation for June the 3rd. And so we walked in there opening week. And
wow,
I can tell you for all the negativity surrounding that park, and there was a lot of people, I think sometimes people just like to, dislike things because they just like to dislike things. They think it maybe gets them more attention. I was like Michelle, that the soundscape, even the soundscape that you hear when you're walking in there was written specific. That's new. The music and the sounds that you're hearing on that soundscape as you're walking in was written specifically for Galaxy's Edge. You'll hear that nowhere else. I think it's, the buzzword is immersive, but it's true, guys. It's just, I forgot that I was in a Disney park in Galaxy's Edge. I forgot that I was in a Disney park. That's how good it is and how immersive. I personally think that Rise of the Resistance is the best attraction out there anywhere right now in any park on the planet. So, granted, I'm a Star Wars nerd, but hands down, I think Rise is amazing. We loved being there for opening week in Disneyland. And then the same year in 2019, I also was able to go to Disney World and go to Galaxy's Edge East. So I love it. We love it. I think they did a fantastic job with it. I have no I have very few complaints about Galaxy's Edge. There's always little things, that you would tweak or whatever, but I love it.
Yeah, Don, I had similar, which I'm going to get to in a second, but those are very good thoughts on Galaxy's Edge. Rob, what about you, Galaxy's Edge? What are your thoughts on it?
Well, in 2017, we took our kids for the first time to Walt Disney World, and we went into Pandora and rode Flight of Passage, and I thought, this is it. It's like technology, evolves, and you're in the moment, and you're like, how can it ever get any better than this? And then all of a sudden, they put more pixels in the screen, and it's like, you can see their pores. And so Flight of Passage was like, oh my gosh, it's never going to get better. And the first time I walked into Galaxy's Edge in California, I said this, and I was actually on a live stream trying to raise money for the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. I said, my wedding day, the day my kids were born, and the day I turned the corner and saw the Millennium Falcon.
Gosh, yeah.
I mean, that's literally how I felt walking into Galaxy's Edge. I was like, this is a lifelong dream. This is like the epic, finale of life, to get to see the Falcon in person, and then you get to go fly it.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's like you're in the movie. I mean, like everything you
it is
in the movie, you're feeling you're part of.
It is. Yeah.
I got to repeat a word, immersive, but it's further than that. I mean, the only thing it's lacking, and I say this because maybe Disney's listening and they'll do it, is if they were to put a dome over the entire thing and you could actually see X-Wings and TIE fighters flying overhead.
Yeah.
I mean, that, wow.
Yeah.
Epic.
And the stars.
Yeah, the star. Yeah, if you had stars and you could see a little battle, like what they did in Space Mountain a few years ago. Flying through and seeing the battles.
It's true.
Yeah.
Didn't they do an opening when they opened it? Didn't they have a drone show for like the first time or for the press or something?
They did.
And then they've never done it since. Like that would be awesome.
Really?
Yeah.
They did. Yeah. But
I know Dave will share his stuff. I do have a controversial thought about it. I wish that at least one of the parks wasn't the same as the other, so that if Disneyland had one, that they did something different in Disney World or vice versa, so that it wasn't the same thing. Maybe two different planets, two different things you could see, different rides. Something.
Yes.
It's so similar, that it would give you a reason to go to. Like, I personally like that Cars Land is only in California and DCA. Dave wishes they'd do something in Florida, but I'm like, well, that's something unique there that you can only see there.
Yeah, that's true.
And I think that's cool. But
you got to watch yourself there, because I heard that they're going to be reimagining Test Track.
imagine.
Wow, I can imagine a Cars Land here. I would love it in Florida. But I remember when I went, the first Galaxy's Edge I went to was in Disneyland. I was out in California on work, and then happened to wind up on Disneyland, and I live streamed it just back to my family so they could see it with me. But I'm a big fan of Resort TV 1, and I'd seen all the streams in high def, and it's just, that's better than not seeing it at all. But when you walk in, the video doesn't do it justice in either place, really. But Disneyland was my first experience, and you're right, to see the Falcon up close, that was like amazing. And then I saw some of the fireworks back there too at Disneyland, which was kind of unique because there wasn't any music back there. So I was trying to figure out the theming. I guess in Batu they don't have Disney music to go with the fireworks, but I enjoyed the fireworks, and both places are amazing. The Ronto Wraps, the Savi's Workshop. I haven't been on Rise yet. I have a video. We didn't figure out the queuing system correctly. We tried.
We have not ridden it, so this is a very sore spot for Dave. That's the problem with the ride too. It's the having to get in an app and limited capacity. So there's
Don had a problem too, right? You didn't get to go. Did you not get to go on it either?
On Rise?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. We let's see. I've ridden Rise 3 or 4 times now. I now this past time, we were there last week, and we didn't get a boarding group. But this last week's trip was more about my granddaughter Kylie, and she love Toy Story Land so much, and she's not as familiar with Star Wars yet. But so we spent a lot of time in we spent more time in Toy Story Land than we did in Galaxy's Edge this last trip. But yes, we've ridden Rise, and again, I think it's utterly incredible. But Rob, the first time I was sitting in the right pilot seat for Smuggler's Run, and I got to put the Falcon into hyperdrive. Mind blown. It was just I was screaming. It was just the best thing. The first time we rounded, I mean, my husband loves Star Wars, but he doesn't, he doesn't get real. I mean, for him to get as emotional as he did the first time he laid eyes on the Millennium Falcon is saying a lot. And I teared up. So
yeah, chills. Hey,
Yeah,
hi, honey.
absolutely.
By the way, Melanie's in the house, so I saw a comment pop by there.
All right,
She
Mel.
likes to make sure you're behaving, Rob.
Right. She's checking in on me.
So before I forget, all these wonderful creators' links are in the description to this video live stream. So we like them all. We're sub to them all. Suggest you do the same or go check them out. Then you'll sub. But check out the link underneath. Car Key is putting them in as we talk, but they're also in the link. And we like all the channels. Otherwise, we wouldn't have invited them on, to be honest.
Pretty much, if you watch everybody here, you'll get a stream almost every day of the week. You don't even need TV because, like, everybody here does multiple things a week that they do. So it's pretty cool.
That's
Yep.
true.
Yep.
You should share your Galaxy's Edge thoughts. You haven't done that yet.
Oh, the one thing, and I love Galaxy's Edge, but if you're going to ask me what would I wonder if something was different, I wonder if they would have built a familiar planet in one of the parks, how different it might have been. Could it have been better if they would have built it on Tatooine or Hoth or Dagobah or pick a Star Wars planet, Sometimes I know why they did it. I've heard the explanation from the Disney Imagineers, but I do walk into the park and I do wonder that sometimes. I'm nitpicking, splitting hairs because I think it's wonderful, but that's one thing that does come to mind as I walk through there. And the soundscape's awesome too, Don. I think you mentioned it, but the soundscape when you walk through there's a lot of things, ships flying overhead and things you don't really think
Chatter,
about.
people talking in other languages that you don't know. Yeah, it's wild.
And Oga's Canteen, I love that experience too. We've been in there, obviously you saw the mugs, but we love that experience. I wish you could eat like a real meal in there and not be kind of shuttled out in 45 minutes, but we really enjoy the Oga's Cantina experience.
And that everybody could sit because there's so few seats and a lot of people have to stand around the bar area tables. That's, if they could have made it bigger, I think it would have been cool. But what they imagined, it's really amazing, right? It's like, it's just one of the most immersive. To me, it's Galaxy's Edge, Cars Land, and Harry Potter in general. Like both lands in Universal are like the most themed lands I could think of in any theme park. Period. Like right up there, all of them.
Yeah.
Michelle, you were going to say something?
Yeah, I was gonna say for Olga's Cantina, when we went, I mean, obviously it's a pretty popular place, and I knew they didn't have a lot of food there, but I would say, if I were to change one thing, I would like to see like more appetizers. I mean, we did get whatever kind of food we could get, but it's really more like kind of pretzels and I mean, there wasn't any more like we have Lamplighter Lounge over at Disney California Adventure.
Oh yeah,
they got like a lot of really good like appetizer food. So I think that would be one addition. It would be nice to have better food there. That I don't think that's the point. I think it's supposed to be like a cantina. So.
Dave, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
So just kind of, spinning off your point, of making it like a Hoth or a Tatooine. I was reading something last week and how I think it's the Trading Post is now canon in the Star Wars, galaxy. And I think that, they did that on purpose to include us into the story. Instead of bringing the story to us, it was to make us a part of the story, which I think that's
like that.
pretty cool in the creators, and the Imagineers.
Yeah. I agree.
Don, you have any favorite memories of Oga's?
We've been really blessed to to go to Oga's several times. I like the blue bantha because I like that cookie on top that they get,
Nice.
and you can buy the blue milk outside of Oga's, but it's kind of a way to get the blue milk and the cookie too. It's just kind of a neat thing to do. But I love Oga's. I love DJ Rex. I think he's a lot of fun. Being in the cantina that first time and hearing the cantina music song, the cantina music play was
Love that. Love that.
it's just, it was just really special. That was a lot of fun because again, I love that the LP, when it came out, and I thought that was just a really cool song. I like Oga's. I do agree with you, Michelle. I think it would be really nice if they offered, appetizers is good. Give us more, than just strange chips and come up with, my goodness, they could come up with, just sky's the limit, on what they could come up with on appetizers, and it would be a lot of fun. I think they'd sell a lot of appetizers in there. I really do.
The other thing with Galaxy's Edge that I've heard is there were supposed to be a lot more actors walking around, characters, droids going around. And wouldn't it be cool? Like, imagine in Oga's if there were some real characters in there that you've seen in some of the movies, or if you saw
that would be
droids
kinda
going
cool,
by
yeah.
outside. Like, I like the ones that are there, and I know now they're up high, so you're not near them. So I love the Star Troopers with Kylo roaming, or you can talk to Chewbacca or things like that. But it's almost like, and then they have, what's the V? The lady that runs around with her own story.
The spy, B. Morandi.
Oh
Yes,
yeah.
thank you, Don. Yeah.
B. Morandi.
And so, she's there and she's always hiding, but it's kind of like if they could have some weird characters roaming all the time, that would be so cool. Set up the Cantina band for real, have them playing in the corner if you walk by or something. That'd be so cool.
That would be amazing.
Yeah, it would be.
It'll be interesting to see, guys, what they do with all of that once the hotel opens, the Star Wars hotel.
Oh my gosh.
They may bring some of that. We'll kind of hopefully be past some of this Corona craziness. And they'll be able to bring us. I think we'll see some more people, more characters, more citizens of Batuu walking around when that hotel opens up. I don't care how much it costs or how long it takes me. I will spend a night in that hotel.
Yes, ma'am. That is on the books.
Children.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I will sell all possessions.
There you go. We're just take all my money, Disney.
Yeah.
Just let me.
What do you want? What do you want?
That's
Take it. Just one night. That's all I need. I'll sleep in the tent for the rest of it. Whatever.
I'm
we
really
have to put our
excited
kids to work. They need to help me save up for that.
But that's something I'm really, really looking forward to. And I think when that hotel opens, we'll see some more pieces maybe added to Galaxy's Edge to make it more immersive. That's gonna be fun. That's gonna be so cool.
I remember when they were talking about building the hotel, and you saw information on the patents that were being filed, and like screens that would basically your whole room was sounded like it was a pixel screen that they would do things like you're in space, and but then they showed the rendering of it, the drawing, and it didn't quite, the most recent drawing with the two bunks with the bed, it didn't look like I thought it was going to look. Of course, it's just I think that it was actually a picture, wasn't it, that they showed, but the inside of that room didn't look at all like I had imagined it would, but I'm hoping it'll look better, in my opinion, once.
To me, they look kind of claustrophobic, to be honest.
Yes, it was small.
It did. It feels very like spaceship-like, know.
I mean,
I think of like, I know this is like a swear word, but like Star Trek, when you see them go into their quarters, and that it just feels very closed in. But hey, you know what? I'll do it anyway. It don't matter.
Yeah, I mean, that's what it's going to be like if you're out on a spaceship in space, right? It's going to be kind of claustrophobic. So,
well, I'm kind of hoping that they stick with the original idea of the hotel. That like if you want to be totally immersed in the Star Wars universe without stepping foot outside it, you can be, because there'll be a transport that will take you from the hotel straight to Galaxy's Edge.
What?
Yeah, there will be yes. Yeah, you didn't know that, Rob?
What? No,
There
I did
will
not
be-
know that.
Yes.
I feel like a terrible fan.
Yes, there will be a special transportation, a transport that will take you straight. You will have people who are staying at the hotel will have their own entrance into Galaxy's Edge. So you don't have to step outside the Star Wars bubble at all the whole
Yes, they
time.
probably don't even pick it up outside. You don't wait out by
Wow.
the lobby. You probably like go through some
Right.
doors inside.
Oh my
Right.
gosh.
Oh yeah.
I've even heard
I don't know how
things
I
like,
missed
would
that.
it be early in the morning or late in the evening? They take you in so that nobody else was in there. Like, what are they going to do? So you don't see other Disney T-shirts running around when you're, when you go inside Galaxy's Edge.
I don't know if they can control that, but they are. That's what. Yeah, that you're going to be able to be as immersed in the Star Wars universe, as you want. Now. And again, the other question there is clothing. If you're staying, if I'm staying at the hotel, like I bought a Rebel jacket at the Trading Post when I was at Downtown Disney. I'm dressing the part. I'm a Rebel spy that weekend. So, yeah.
Dave's really donning a Sith robe here.
This is from the Disneyland
Yeah.
Galaxy's Edge. This is the tunic, the top for Darth Maul.
My outfit's from what is it? One of the Halloween stores, Spirit. This is a Spirit version. He has the real one, but yeah.
William actually bought the Jedi robes, and he just bit the bullet and invested in the full Jedi robes, and they look really nice on him. They look really good.
Yeah, I've been looking. I have the Jedi robe, kind of a robe from another costume, but yes, I do like the Jedi robe and the belt with the lightsaber goes on. So,
Yeah, oh yeah,
oh yes, there are
Yeah,
other
he
things
bought
on the list.
the whole thing. Yeah,
Wow.
loves it.
I'm
So
looking
are
at
you
the
guys-
chat. The $5,000 for 3 days.
Yeah.
I haven't heard that yet. We've been kind of trying to pay attention as to when they're going to open and when we can start booking people. But yeah, as soon as they do, I'll be throwing that out on a Saturday show for sure.
And there's rumors of, is it like all in for that? So if you had 4 people in there, they could split that cost, or is it per? I've heard it's thousands. I just didn't know what. And if you had 4 people, I don't know if it's per person or per family or like what. Dave would try to say, well, there'd be 4 of us, it'd be worth the. So you could either go on a vacation for an entire week, or you could spend 2 nights in that Star Wars hotel. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's Disney prices.
Right.
I'd go on a cruise.
That's what. Yeah.
Well, then if you go on a cruise, you can go to the hyperspace bar. Apparently,
Dave was learning all about the new. You guys saw the stuff on the new cruise ship.
The Disney Wish. They were showing.
Oh,
some,
nice,
They were showing some sneak peek of that this morning on the Disney.
nice. Ooh, I hadn't seen that yet.
A hyperspace lounge where you can see the space. You go to the lounge. And it's very, very cool.
I think it would be cool if they had a whole cruise ship Star Wars based.
That's what I'm thinking too, Tina. I
Yeah.
mean, we can leave Mickey Mouse somewhere, but let's just make it all Star Wars.
Yeah. I could go for that. I think that would be extremely popular.
I mean, they have Star Wars Day at Sea, but we can just quit the day just to make the Star Wars cruise.
I'm sure you're very serious about it too.
Right.
I'd be
Yeah.
all in.
Why not?
You would love this.
Why not?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Are you
Definitely.
guys light side people or dark side people?
I'm supposed to answer the question?
I'm
let's see.
resistant scum.
Your resistance. All right. What about you, Michelle?
We're the light side,
Are you good or are you the bad?
the good side.
The good. Okay.
You're
Definitely.
Princess Leia.
Yes. Actually, I was gonna dress up like her,
Luke.
but then I realized my hair is totally the wrong color. So
Tina, what about you? Are you with the rebellion or are you Empire?
I don't know. I'm somewhere stuck in between, I think. I don't know. I haven't decided yet.
Luke, Ray, and
What about you,
Han.
Rob?
I mean, Luke, Ray, and Han. I mean, we see that struggle in Ray as to pulling from both sides, and I mean, definitely Light takes over, but I mean, Han just kind of comes into it like it's all fake, and just kind of a middle road, whatever's going to profit the most. But yeah, I could definitely see a dark side. There's the inner struggle in me. So, but ultimately, I think I'm going Resistance. So
there you go.
I enjoy the Resistance more, but the costumes are better on the dark side. I have to
Yeah,
admit.
they're funner.
They're a lot funner.
Right.
You can dress up like the Jedi, like Luke or Obi-Wan, or my kids are telling me I'm getting to the age I grow my beard back out. I'm going to make a good Obi-Wan. I don't think that's a compliment, but
yeah.
what do you all? What about the? Let's talk a little bit about the new Star Wars series coming out on May the 4th next week, The Bad Batch. I'm going to let Kris talk to that because I'm going to see we have a special guest here. I think Sea Squid Man, the Clone Wars expert in our house, he may come in for this segment. So
You're gonna go get him.
I'm gonna go get him, Kris. I'll let him speak to
and I'm gonna hop off.
Okay.
All right.
So,
All right. Well, check
yeah.
out Michelle and Gabe and Hannah and Garrett and Monarch Moments. Links in the description. Great Disney and other lifestyle channels, other things as well. They're on live 3 times a week and other vlogs, and Garrett does some shorts. So appreciate Monarch Moments joining us, and congratulations for recently getting over that 1,000 sub mark.
Thank you.
Appreciate you
Thanks
being
for
on.
having us. Bye, guys.
Yeah.
Michelle.
Awesome.
Bye bye.
Bye.
All right, go ahead. I'll let you lead
Okay. Have you guys watched any of the trailers for it coming out, The Bad Batch?
I have not watched a single trailer. I'm really excited, but I haven't seen a trailer yet. So I gotta catch up.
I just watched it to prep for tonight, and I have no idea what's going on. So
What's going on?
I am excited to watch it though, because I've been getting into Clone Wars a little bit, the series. Addie Family Adventures, Kris, every Thursday night, Wednesday night, he does watch parties, and we've been watching the Clone Wars all together. And so I really got into the series now. So I'm excited for it. So we'll see.
Definitely.
Watch out for Indy. He's gonna try to come in.
Come on, bud. We got Dean coming in. Our son Dean.
you shut the
He
door.
is a huge Clone Wars. Like when he was quite young, he watched it, and like all he did. Like it's your favorite series, right? Clone Wars.
Yeah, it's my favorite.
So what do you think about Bad Batch coming out?
I'm pretty excited. I mean, it's just like a continuation, really, of the show, but can't be called Clone Wars anymore because they're over. So yeah, I mean, I'm just really excited.
The animation is, I mean, it's exact.
Yeah,
It looks like Clone Wars, Don. You'll be thrilled when you see it. Because as soon as Dave was playing, I'm like, what's going on? Is that Clone
I
Wars?
love
And he's
it.
like, no, it's,
Yeah.
yeah.
The animation in Clone Wars is part of one of my favorite things in that whole series. Is just the animation and the costume design, and so that's exciting to hear that Bad Batch is going to be using that same beautiful animation.
So, Dean, what's the premise of Bad Batch? There are clones that are a Bad Batch?
Yeah, okay, so basically, if you've watched the Clone Wars, in the last season, the first, story arc, you're introduced to this, group of clones called the Bad Batch, and they're kind of like stereotypes, I guess. Like, one of them's a smart guy, one of them's kind of like the mean guy, one's like the dumb, strong guy, the other one's kind of like the leader, and yeah, it was made originally by George Lucas. It was his vision, and it was unfinished until they came back and finished the Clone Wars, so that was pretty cool to see. But yeah, so basically they worked for the Republic, and the series takes place with them after the Clone Wars is done, so they're kind of figuring out what to do, because the Republic, or now the Empire, is getting rid of the clones, so they kind of have to figure out what they're gonna do in life now that they have nothing to do.
Sounds
And
good.
how many shows are there going to be of it? Do you know? Is it 6 or 8 or what are they
I
doing
don't know
for
how
the
many
series?
episodes there are.
They're all these episodes on Disney Plus are so great, but then it's like they're produced like movies each thing, but then there's only 6 or 8, and you're like,
Right.
you know,
Right.
Right.
so they're amazing, you know, but
Yeah, well, typically the most recent Clone Wars season had like 12 episodes. I don't know if that's how many it's gonna get. I really have no idea. I'm not sure if there's an official number out there. I'd probably say around like a dozen to 20 would be like a safe
ooh,
bet.
you think so?
Yeah,
Really?
the normal Clone Wars season lasts like 20 episodes,
Right.
if I can recall. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
I was always heartbroken in the Clone Wars, the story they wrote for Ahsoka, that like they brought her back and it's a fixed story, but I always felt her story was so unfinished and she was such an integral part. It like upset me until they kind of came back. How when it kind of ended before they brought it back, I was like, here's this lady who's doing all this stuff and now she's just kind of walked away and you know, so she's one of my favorites, just kind of like what you were saying.
Yeah,
Dawn.
I'm not sure if she's gonna show up in the Bad Batch, but I do know Clone Wars characters from like different parts of the show, like from beginning to end, are going to show up. I have seen a leak where an older character showed up, so I would recommend watching the Clone Wars. I don't think you have to watch it to appreciate it, but I mean it's literally what happens after it, so it would just make sense to watch, or at least the Bad Batch set of episodes. So yeah.
Okay.
Dean's such a fan. When he was a little kid, I'm like, what do you want to be? And he's like, I want to be Commander Cody. I want to be Commander Cody. I'm going to be Commander Cody. And what was another one you wanted to be besides Commander? There was another clone you wanted. He always wanted to be the clones. It was so funny.
Yeah, like Jango Fett,
Same.
the originator, Captain
Yeah.
Rex, just all the
Captain
clones.
Rex.
I think I know every single named clone in the show.
Yeah. But I was like, should we make the costume? Like, this doesn't exist, because at the time they didn't have these costumes. So it was so funny. He was like, I want to be this clone. And I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. So, yeah, he's a huge fan of it.
Yeah.
He has this. Do you have your clone shirt? One of your shirts?
No, I don't have an Empire shirt on.
Empire C.
Oh,
Now, for anybody who hasn't watched the Clone Wars and then also Rebels, those, you know, for any Star Wars fan, those two are just musts. You just have to watch them for so much more story. They're really good. Highly recommend them.
yeah. Didn't they just release the Clone Wars on Disney Plus recently? Did I
Yeah,
just say
Val.
recently twice?
I did.
Somewhere there. Okay,
What-
because we went looking for it and we couldn't find it,
Couple
and
months
then
ago?
and then I thought it popped up. So we're
It's
getting
there.
into it like right now. As soon as we get home from our little trip here, we're
think
gonna be
you'll
starting
love it.
Clone Wars.
I
So-
think you'll love it. Yeah, it's fantastic.
Rob, we have all the DVDs, so if you just want us to ship them to you.
Yeah, send them on over.
He used to watch them all the time. Yes. And
Yeah.
so they've probably released them all on Disney Plus now, which would make sense if they
Yeah,
did.
they are. They're all on there. They
Yeah.
recently released, I guess last
They
year
will.
actually, about a year ago, they released the last season of the Clone Wars. I'm assuming that's what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I
All them.
I didn't realize it. Like I remember my son, you know, kind of watching some of it, you know, when it first came out, and I guess I didn't realize that it was canon and that it was like building upon the story. I thought it was just like I'm an additional, you know, money grab from Star Wars, but then as it went on and hearing and listening to people commentate on it, I was like, oh, maybe I should go watch that.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, did you guys like Star Wars Rebels? Did you ever watch that series?
I didn't
I
see
like
it.
Rebels. I like Rebels as well. It was kind of hard after because I absolutely love the Clone Wars so much. Rebels is a different kind of animation. It's set in a different time period and it introduces some new characters. But the more I got into it, you know, it's hard to follow a story if you never become attached to the characters. If you don't care what happens to the characters, then what's the point, right? It took me several episodes to really for the characters to endear themselves to me, I guess. But once I got into it again, it's a very good series and it offers a lot of history and introduces some characters that really Star Wars fans need to know about if you don't. So I suggest Clone Wars first and then go straight into Rebels.
Yeah, some of the
Yeah.
characters from Clone Wars actually bleed into
Mm-hmm.
Rebels because it was kind of like
They do.
Clone Wars got cut, and then Disney kind of wanted to make Rebels instead of Clone Wars, so a lot of that was carried over from
Right.
the Clone Wars.
I found is the main character the boy. Is he Ezra? Is that
Yeah,
his name?
Ezra.
I did.
That's Ezra.
Dean would watch it, and when it started, I didn't appreciate his character. You know, I didn't care. You know, like it didn't engage me
Right.
like Anakin and Ahsoka
Right.
and those
Exactly.
characters from Clone Wars. So he would watch it some, and I didn't really get into it as much. Was that one on the Cartoon Network? What they did different networks at the time too,
I
right?
don't know,
Like
they
it's,
kept on switching it up. I think Clone
Yeah.
Wars is on Cartoon Network. I think Rebels was switched.
yeah, it was weird because they stopped and they had agreements with certain,
Right.
how they were putting it on the TV at the time. Yeah, it was pretty. How about like Falcon and the Winter Soldier ends, and here we have another week, and something else starts up, like how they
Right.
WandaVision,
Right.
and then it's kind of cool how they're
Yeah.
doing this, that they're having
I like it.
shows to engage you.
Just keep them coming. Keep them coming.
Yeah, I can only
Well, and
imagine
it-
what they're gonna have coming.
It's Disney's like reimagination of the company. Like, when they shut down all the parks and couldn't have people in the parks, this Disney
Yeah.
Plus just exploded. It's almost as if
Yeah.
like when they released Disney Plus, they knew this all was going to happen.
Yeah. Yeah. Disney Plus has really kind of been their lifeboat during, with the park closures and everything. Disney Plus has really gotten them over the hump. So
We have
But,
lots of chat. We have lots of chat going. I see Will's in there, Don. He's
Yeah.
talking about the Clone Wars. Dave was manning the PC, so I'm noticing. See, I'm just paying attention to you guys and not manning the.
Jedi Master Will, Bright Suns, actually Rising Moons now.
Yes.
It's easier to love the Clone Wars because you've seen the characters on the big screen, right? Phoenix Squad from Rebels are the main characters, and we didn't know about them before the show. That's pretty much it, William. Ezra Bridger, I was exactly the same, Kris. With Ezra Bridger, it took me a while because he's a new character. I didn't know him. And also the animation is quite different than it is in Clone Wars. So it took me a little while to warm up to Ezra, but I did.
Yeah, he's like, I guess, too whiny for me in the beginning. I know he's a young character, and he doesn't want to quite do. Yeah, so you kind of get it. But like they had Anakin kind of whiny too, and you kind of saw his growth as he went.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
It's kind of interesting as they go.
I will admit, there is a bit of a problem with Clone Wars and Rebels. It's like this snowball effect where, well, let's say, at least the first season of both of them are definitely like the worst part of them. So it's one of those shows where you have to keep watching because you can see the improvement in like the characters and the animation, especially for the Clone Wars. It gets way better. But yeah, I would still recommend you just have to stick with it through those first seasons of both the shows.
Mm-hmm. I love Clone Wars so much. That's one reason that I was so ridiculously excited when they announced that Ahsoka Tano would be in The Mandalorian. William can tell you, I just went nuts. I said, this is the best thing ever. I thought she did a great job with the role. What's the gal that played Ahsoka Tano in The Mandalorian? Her name just left me.
Is it Rosario Dawson?
Rosario Dawson.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes. I thought she did a fantastic role.
She did.
Ashley Eckstein actually voiced Ahsoka Tano in the Clone Wars, and everybody, all the Ashley Eckstein fans were, kind of upset that she didn't get, to do Mandalorian. But I thought Rosario Dawson did a fantastic job with that role. I really did. I was really happy with her performance as Ahsoka. I thought she did great. So I was.
And how about with The Mandalorian, the best introduction of a character as Baby Yoda? I mean, of a merchandise.
Yeah.
Like, I thought the Porg was like the best thing that they came up with, but then to do Baby Yoda and how it's caught on. I mean, amazing to come up with that, right? Like, who comes up with these things to do that?
Yeah.
And to have it look the way it does, and it's so endearing, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It was best merchandising idea they've had in forever. I mean,
And then they didn't have the merch ready, and now it's like you can't get away from it. It's like the exact opposite. It's everywhere, right?
Yeah, I
Oh
waited
my
like
gosh.
5 months for my Funko Pops coming from the Shop Disney.
Wow.
Ridiculous.
That
Yeah.
is a long wait.
Ahsoka being in Mandalorian is what actually is kind of pushed me to want to watch the Clone Wars, because that character was so well done on there that I was like, I got to know more about her. So
Well, the thing about Ahsoka too in the Clone Wars is she's Anakin's Padawan learner.
Mhm.
So she starts out very young. When you first see her on the screen in the Clone Wars, she's very young and she grows. I love the fact that they develop her character as the seasons go with Clone Wars. They really develop Ahsoka's character. She matures and until the woman that you see in The Mandalorian. So they really did a good job with developing her character, I think.
I think so too.
Yeah, it's another snowball character. Not to bring it up again, but it happens a lot in these into Star Wars. Like I'd say Anakin, Ahsoka, and Ezra are all snowball characters where they definitely start very unlikable and whiny, which is a little ironic, but they build up and become like more, you become more emotionally invested in them, and they're more unique to each other.
I agree.
Yeah.
Well, I think Anakin as a role in general is so interesting to watch him because you know what he turns into. So the whole time you're watching, you're trying to figure out what is it that really turns him, and you see the sweetness in him, but you see the flashes of the evil right in there, that he can't control himself and stuff. So it's very interesting, very dynamic character.
Well, that's why I was, when we're developing Rey, it was interesting, like the thoughts that are going through my mind, like she could really go either way here. I mean, because she was kind of whiny, but she did seem like she was more drawn to the dark side. And then, to find out who she was, it was like, oh my gosh, how did she fight through that?
Yeah.
So, yeah. Oh.
Dean is such a Star Wars fan in Clone Wars. Like he does all the Funko Pops. Like he's a big and your pop, like the thing you collect is the Star Wars Pops, right? In Clone Wars, like once you
yeah, the Star Wars Pops. Hold on a second. I just looked at this comment. What a rare occurrence here. Someone who likes Resistance. This is something I've never seen anyone talk about. I think I might mention here. So Resistance is the show. It was another animated show, right? The classic snowball effect I've been talking about, but didn't really get a chance to snowball because it got axed pretty quick. It was a pretty unpopular show.
When did it come out?
I don't know, just around like a couple years ago. It did not get great critical reception.
And they didn't give it a chance to grow?
Yeah, it only got 2 seasons and it got axed, unfortunately. I saw potential in it, but yeah, I mean, it's a real shame. It's one we lost along the way in the battle for Star Wars, I might say.
Yeah, Dave Filoni. Was Dave Filoni involved in that one too? In Resistance at all?
He was involved with the original planning of Resistance, but he wasn't involved in the creation. Well, he was involved with the creation, but not like the process along the way. He just kind of helped to start it, and then he didn't really do anything else with it after that.
Gotcha.
I mean, there's so many books that are written and so many things. There's stories they could do for our lifetimes plus, right? Around this. I mean, it's really unbelievable how they all the different books and storylines. So, and with introducing Galaxy's Edge and all the books they have around that they're introducing in those characters, I wonder, kind of like Rob, you were talking about how it brings us in. At some point, will we see some of that in a movie? Because I've heard that, there's references to certain things, and when they do another movie, will some of that come in? Because that would be so cool to see some of that.
Yeah, I love all that interweaving of stuff, and all the Easter eggs that you see. Like I don't know if in The Mandalorian where you see the skeleton in the background, or no, I'm sorry, in A New Hope you see the skeleton when R2 and C-3PO are walking through the desert.
Yeah.
And then you come to find out
Yeah.
that might be the skeleton that Mando helped take out.
Yeah.
Or so,
Yeah. Yeah. Pretty cool.
Yeah.
The continuity people like are really earning their money between all of these series now to like crosswalk. And these guys, I drive them
The Crate
crazy. I'm like,
Dragon.
where does this fit?
Yeah,
Is
that's-
this before or
Yeah,
after?
thanks. I couldn't remember the name.
Yeah, I was trying to come up with it's a crate dragon. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
All right, Dave's calling Dean off the floor. He's heading. He has to Dave can go. We should have brought a third chair. Dean loves Star Wars. It's like him and Dave. Like
I don't
when
know where he
little,
got-
you were showing him.
I don't know where he got that from at all.
He's like 4, and like a hand's being cut off on Stella's, and I'm like, oh my god, he's 4, and Dave's like, Star Wars, fun. Like.
Just for the record, as a Texan, I'm loving the Buc-ee's t-shirt.
I was just about to say that too. I was like, because I know there's one in Georgia now. I saw the Bucky shirt coming in. I was
There's
like,
one in Alabama. There's one in Alabama, and there are several in Florida. So yeah.
So, in my defense, Dean wore my Boba Fett shirt yesterday, so I had to go to the backup.
Like, as if he doesn't have 20 shirts. Come on. It's Star Wars. He has like I should have made him wear, we have the Leia and Solo, like, I love you, I know. I should have made him wear that for the stream.
Yeah. I love
you're just wearing the Bucky shirt because there's 2 Texans in here, right?
Yeah,
Yes,
that's gotta be it.
Yeah.
We've been to we have a couple vlogs on the Buc-ee's in Georgia. Yes, I love to go to Buc-ee's.
I can't even, I don't know in Texas, like, how busy they are, but, like, they built the one, and they're building a second one in Georgia, but it's south of Atlanta near Warner Robins Air Force Base.
They're Macon, Georgia.
Yeah, and it's so busy when you go in there. It's like Disney World in there. Like the number of people, it is great. I can't even. It's crazy. And we were driving down I-75, and Dave's like, you got to go in here. And I could not believe what I saw with the number of people. And they sell like hand soap and signs that says "Home is where the heart is," and then they have like a shirt and.
But if you go in the back corner, you can get your bait too. They got live bait back there.
Oh,
Yeah.
See, I didn't even see.
They have everything in that store.
That is
it's crazy. Yeah. The first one, now I thought that the first one that they built outside Texas was in Daytona, but I had a friend tell me that there was another one in Florida. The one in Daytona was the second one they built outside Texas. But yeah, it's just great. I went there today, in fact.
Did you really?
Yeah, we go about once a week, every other week at the least. You guys stop by and get you a brisket sandwich, and their breakfast tacos. Beaver nuggets. We got a couple bags of those, but their breakfast tacos, I'll tell you, if you get there early enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are really good.
You don't know them.
Yeah. And
Gina, do you have any Buc-ee's up by you?
Great.
I don't think they're in the.
Do you have any Buc-ee's up by you?
I wish. I got a magic mail from Kelly from the Mickey Bunch a couple weeks ago, and it had Buc-ee's, the cinnamon,
The beaver nuggets.
Oh my god, I'm hooked. I'm sending her money to send me some more because those are magic.
They're good. Yeah.
You know what was crazy? The craziest thing to me was it's a gas station. It's a 100 pump gas station, but it's a gas station, right? And they have their own branded everything, including chips, popcorn, candy. And I was like, how many locations do they have now, Dave? Maybe 20? I don't know what the total, but like for a size, they're not all, I mean, they're expanding, but to have all this merchandise that's branded, built, saltine crackers, like the food, the beaver nuggets, I was amazed with how much was there that was themed by, their brand.
It reminds me of the world of Disney and Disney Springs. Everything's on brand, and it's like crazy big, and people are grabbing for everything.
Yeah.
Right? There's no social distancing in a Buc-ee's, so I mean, you just got to push your way through.
Yes.
Yeah. Did we get through everything?
We have, so what we haven't asked everybody is their favorite Star Wars movies.
So we'll go favorite Star Wars movies, maybe top 3, and then we'll start, just give us a little bit about your channel, then we'll wrap up. I'm going to show the Star Wars show going out, the one that doesn't play in Hollywood Studios. We got the whole thing, we'll end on that.
Cool.
So let's do top, I don't know, 3 to 5 Star Wars movies. We'll go last. I don't know. Tina, what are your top Star Wars movies?
So I can't say that. So I've seen the original 3, and then I saw the last one that came out in the theater in full. So those are the only 4 movies that I've seen in full. So my top 3, definitely the original trilogy. Nothing beats them. I've seen half. I think it was the Clone Wars, the one with Jar Jar Binks, and he just did it for me, and I was done. So definitely the original for now. I'll go back and watch them eventually, the other ones, but yeah,
That's hysterical.
definitely the originals.
Don, what about yours?
Oh, far and away the originals. Star Wars, Return of the Jedi, and Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi, hands down. I like the originals. I love that they reintroduced them, remastered them, and then reintroduced those to include the scene with Jabba the Hutt there with Han in front of the Millennium Falcon. They did a lot of things. George Lucas was limited by the technology when he first released Star Wars, and so when he remastered them, he was able to add in some of the things that he wasn't able to do the first time. So
Right.
yeah, the first one's hands down.
What about you, Rob?
Christmas Special, Battle for Endor, and Phantom Menace. Oh, wait. You said we're talking about our favorites.
He's starting from the bottom up, apparently. We're going through all 15 specials and movies. And
Hey, you know what? I used to watch the Battle for Endor quite a bit, and I thought that was a young Luke. I didn't know. I mean, I was like a kid. But that's where I love Wicket. I mean, but now that I watch it as an adult, I'm like, what were they thinking? Really, they really put that to print and put that out to the public. Yeah. No, hey, you know what? When we sit down, when Melanie and I sit down or we get the kids and we're like, hey, movie night, it usually starts with A New Hope. I mean, we could watch it over and over and over and over and over again. And then if I had like a close second and third, it would have to be probably episode 3, 6, and 9. I mean, just kind of sealing those trilogies up. I saw episode 3, and when Anakin is turning into Vader, that was like the walking into Galaxy's Edge moment for I think any Star Wars fan out there, because you've grown up on 4, 5, and 6. You've known Vader as Vader, but then when he rises on that table,
It's
that was it for me right there.
How do you guys did you guys like Rogue One?
Yes,
I
love
did.
Rogue One.
I did. Yeah.
I think Rogue
I
One
like
is
Solo.
highly
I'm actually kind of one of the
underrated.
weird people out there that thought Solo was a really good movie.
It wasn't as bad as all the press that led up to it. It wasn't my favorite. But
My problem was, and I forget the name of the actor that played young Han Solo. It was such a different Han Solo than Harrison Ford played it. It was like a different guy, and that was kind of that's where it got me. If I could let go of that, I'd probably be
Right.
I mean, I don't know. I've had this argument with people a lot, but I almost think that he played Solo really well, like a young, cocky punk kid. And then when we get to see him, in the originals, it's almost like he's grown up a little bit to have this hardened idea of the galaxy. But I don't know. We could save that for another show.
yeah, I mean, the originals will always be my favorites personally. Into the Clone Wars, because that's what Dean grew up on, who was
Yeah.
just here. But I would say, of the last ones, Force Awakens wasn't bad. I didn't hate the other two as much as some of the press out there.
He loved them all.
But
he loves everyone.
I do think Rogue One is underrated in the
I do too.
order.
I do too.
Yeah.
Agreed.
For me, Rogue One bothers me because I actually wish that those characters didn't end the way they did, because I felt like the characters were so strong, and even, I mean, everything, the droid, that it really could have had a series of its own. I understand why it did, and I understand why it's part of the movie, but I was like, did they really have to?
What was the female lead's name in that? What was her name?
And I should know, I even have
Her
a
character.
character.
If Melanie was sitting here, she would tell you she should have played Rey.
She's probably too old,
She
right?
was that good, I think.
Yeah. I should know her.
Felicity something.
I don't know. Somebody look
I
it
don't
up
remember
for
her,
us.
but
Yeah.
I thought I enjoyed Rogue
What is
One.
it, Dean?
It was
For Rogue
highly
One.
underrated, and
The female lead.
even
Jen
though you
Erso?
kind of knew the ending,
Okay. Jen Erso. That's
Jen
the lead.
Erso.
Dean's
Okay.
like, what? You called me?
yeah, Star Wars expert heard it through the door.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jen Orso, Jonathan. Appreciate that. Yeah,
Felicity did.
I guess with Disney Plus, Andor, one of the characters is getting his own series, so looking forward to that.
Oh,
There's
wow.
such strong, and what's really cool about Star Wars to me is there's always been so much diversity in the movies. There's all different types of people, all different cultures, all different planets. Like there's all different
Right.
types of things
Species.
that make it so cool. Yeah, species. That's very good. Yes, yes. What are you grabbing, Dave? Oh, he almost forgot.
Because I know everybody's going to be super interested in this, but one thing I dug out from the collection is my original Topps cards, stickers, and cards
stop it.
from 1977.
Ah,
The entire set.
Oh, my goodness.
oh man. Oh gosh, really?
That could be a holy grail right there.
No
They're
kidding.
not worth a lot of money, but they're worth something to me. They're
Right?
the top sets. There's 77 and 12 stickers. Those are the blue. After blue, I think it was red, yellow, green, orange. I have them all.
Oh.
But
Ah, wow. So cool.
Here's the stickers.
I'm so
yeah,
jealous.
Disney made some. You may have seen the stickers as pins down at Disney Springs. I think
Yeah.
they made some of those pins just like that.
Oh man, those are so cool.
You can, when you go to Celebration, they do have extras if you have some of those cards. I think I was a few short of some of the Color Series sets, and I had to go, when I was in Indianapolis for Celebration 2, I picked up the extras I needed for all 5 sets, I think they are.
Wow.
Some of these,
Yeah.
some of them are portraits, some landscape, but you can kind of see.
Oh man, those are so cool.
Those would be my equivalent to
great.
Dave's Funkos, I guess.
Right?
You have your own Funkos though.
Those are really cool.
Yeah, so I think that's, let's just start wrapping up. I don't want to be respectful of time.
Unless you guys want to be on another couple hours, because we can keep going.
Yeah, definitely.
We haven't even really discussed Mandalorian. We could be on several.
No, we
hours.
haven't. I love Mando. I agree with what you said. Somebody asked me when it first came out that hadn't seen it, and I said exactly what I think 2 of you
Oh, yeah.
said. It's the closest thing I've seen since the 70s Star Wars to being just like the 70s Star Wars movies.
Right.
I mean, Favreau and Filoni, awesome
Hit it out of the
job.
park.
And there's so many Easter eggs from the earlier series. I have to go back and watch the gallery thing where they go behind the scenes.
Right.
So I pick up some of those things, like we used this gun from The Empire Strikes Back from one scene, and I didn't even notice it when I watched it the first time through.
Our kids are so spoiled today because now they have this expectation that like every like show is a movie. I'm like, a movie would come out once every 10 years. You'd see with this technology and the production, and Disney does 6 or 8 of these, right? And they put it out in a season, like all these things. Mandalorian is amazing with the battle
It
scenes
is.
and the characters and everything.
Story.
We'll get to the Mando in another stream. I'd love to talk more about Mando, but let's Tina, what's coming up on your channel? What can we expect from Team Marie's Place in the near future?
So Monday, 3 p.m. book club. We're reading Enola Holmes, The Case of the Missing Marquess, chapters 2 and 3. And then next Wednesday on my channel for Wednesday Whateverness at 5 o'clock, I think we're going to be doing, I forgot what we're going to be doing. We're going to be talking something. Oh, favorite book quotes. Almost forgot. So that's going to be fun. And I pop up on other people's streams tonight at 10:30. I'll be on The Adventures of Gonzo doing throwback Thursday trivia. We're doing trivia for the Ugly Dachshund. So
Cool.
yeah, that's where I am.
Awesome. Don, what about the Hitchhiking Bones? What are you and Will up to in the near future?
Well, we have some new live streams from our trip this past week. Some new live streams to the parks. I'm going to be doing some blogs. Also, we did not live stream on one of our Magic Kingdom days or one of our Animal Kingdom days, but we did vlog. So, got to work on those. We have our Hawaii content. My husband and I went to Hawaii in February. Fantastic dream trip. Stayed at Aulani, Disney's Aulani Resort. Fantastic. There's some stuff up on that on the channel. And we have our Hitchhiker Chat stream, our live stream weekly, and it's on Tuesday nights at 9 p.m. Central and 10 p.m. Eastern. So some good stuff.
Awesome. Thanks to you and Tina for being on. And then Rob, Disney Connections. What are we unboxing this week? Who are we having on for May the 4th?
Well, crazy things coming. We actually don't have an unboxing this next week because we're up in Oregon. So hopefully some things will be delivered over the weekend and we'll get those recorded up and put out later the week. But Saturday, we'll have our Saturday show right here from Oregon on special location. And then next Tuesday, we've got Mickey Loot. We've got Matt from Mickey Loot that's going to come on and talk about Mickey Loot and where they came from and how they built up and where they're going. And hopefully we get to know Matt just a little bit better. He's been doing some lives on Instagram. If you want to go check out Mickey Loot on Instagram, I'm sure he would appreciate it. And it's been a lot of fun just kind of walking with him through the park. So we're excited about Taco Tuesday this week. And then, later on this summer, we're going to be in Walt Disney World. So we'll be live streaming from all the parks and just having a good old time. So that's Disney Connections for you.
Awesome. We look forward to that. Kris, what do we have recently on Adventures by D? What do we have coming up?
We went this past weekend to Dollywood, and they have a food and flower festival. Not easy to say, but they have similar to some of the other parks. They have some unique food offerings, but it's not a topiary, but I forget the exact
floral displays.
Yeah, they have like topiaries, but they're really cool, like different. They're animals and they're live grown things that they use different pieces. It's not just the green kind of that you see at Disney. So that was really cool. So we've released some different videos on that, and we have a couple more coming of some stuff we did around Dollywood, and we stayed at the Dollywood Dreamworld Resort, which is Dollywood's hotel. So that was fun walking around there too. So we have a lot coming out on that here soon.
And then we have some summers, some parks.
Yeah,
new parks we're gonna visit.
We're excited.
Right after Memorial Day when the kids get out, and we're looking forward to hitting 2 or 3 different parks.
Some places we've never been.
Yeah,
so we're excited to
stay tuned for that.
Show some of that. Yeah.
And hopefully maybe live stream from some of those parks if we have good cell
if we
signal.
go in, we tend to try to live stream some kind of a surprise stream because we don't know of all these places what the cell signal's like. But Dollywood has pretty good cell signal, so we've been able to go live there, and there's some other places that we're probably going to after Memorial Day that we will. So.
And then when are we going to Disney? Soon?
I don't. We're going to Halloween Horror Nights. We already have that booked at Universal Orlando, so that like that's booked. Hotel. Right now I don't. He if I said tomorrow, he'd just go. You know what I mean? So he would love to. So I don't know when we're going to Disney next. That's a big decision. The ticket prices are
in the summer. We'll be at Disney somehow, some way.
Okay.
Yes, I'll make it happen.
I will say to warn you, I don't know, Rob, if you went last summer with the mask requirements at Disney, did you walk around? I found it we went Labor Day weekend. It was very hot with the masks. Like, regardless of what anybody tells you, it is stifling. Yeah. So just prepare for it. Like, it keeps you safe and all those things. I'm happy to abide by the rules. With Dollywood, you can take your mask off if you're not around people. We just wore them the whole time. Like, we didn't like mess with it. I'm fine with it, but boy, in the summer, whew, it does get you. You have to take lots of breaks.
Yeah, we did over Halloween, so we did the 30th, 31st, and the 1st, I think. And it was still kind of muggy. We had like 3 masks, and you just kind of change the fabric throughout the day. I'm very interested in how it's going to be because we're going in the middle of July. Yeah, the middle of July. So that's when it's going to be 95% humidity and 95 degrees. So it rains every day at 3:30. Those times in Florida. So that'll be very interesting walking around with the mask all day. We'll see how it works out.
That was that live stream, and we Diz Our Dream was in here and walking around. It's stamina to go as much as they do, and in the heat, once the heat starts going. I mean, it's already mid 80s to 90s there now, right? But yeah. So Dave, when will we be at Disney? If I green light it tomorrow. He would be there in a hot second, so I don't know yet. He keeps hoping there will be a Halloween party announcement. That's kind of the question. We know that the 50th anniversary is happening, and I'm skeptical because that's the time frame of the 50th, but he's saying, I think, and I said, well, maybe they do it and it's in a different park. Maybe it wouldn't be in the Magic Kingdom if they did it. But so Dave is he's dying to hear, are they going to release something for the Halloween parties? Yeah. Maybe, or Christmas,
So I just want to thank everybody for being on. We really enjoyed y'all taking your precious time out of your schedules and being on our stream. Enjoyed it. Enjoy your channels. Check out their channels, everybody. Check it out and consider subbing. We've been subbed to all the channels for a while, but descriptions are down in the links. Car Key put them in the chat. But appreciate you all coming on. Everybody can stay on if you'd like. I'm just going to take you out of the stream because we're going to go out with the Star Wars show, which you can't see anymore in Hollywood Studios.
I should put on
This is really one of my favorite shows. I miss it, and I think it was pretty cool. But and thanks for everybody that came in the chat. If you're watching the replay, thanks for watching the replay. Please feel free to stay on as I attempt to share the Star Wars show with audio that was right in the middle of Hollywood Studios. This is we were front row, so we got the whole show, pretty good sound and video. And thanks for coming on. I love your channels, and feel free to stay on for the show here.
And we should say, Dave, may the adventures be with you.
All right,
here he goes. He's gonna.
Bye, guys.
Let's see. And then let's see here.
He's getting it set up here. Hang on.
Yeah, hang on 1 second here. And then share.
No, it's going to be, I don't know how you're going to do it with, you're going to have to minimize this.
I'm just gonna film it.
This station is now the ultimate power in the universe.
The ability to destroy a planet is insignificant next to the power of the Force.
The Force is what gives the Jedi its power. There's no mystical energy field controlled by it. In Skywalker are here to rescue you. In time, you will call me master.
We're impossibly outnumbered. I don't think so.
Get ready!
Okay, for what? We have a spark that'll light the fire that will hold the first water down. I won't let them win! All craft flawed! It's a trap! You are the chosen one! Use the Force, Luke.
Feel the Force around you. Through the Force, things you will see. Other places, the future, the past.
R2-D2, where are you? My goodness! I am C-3PO, Human-Cyborg Relations, and this is my counterpart, R2-D2. I am fluent in over 6 million forms of communication. Secret mission? Plans? What are you talking about? Exciting is hardly the word I would choose. You watch your language. I'm going to regret this. Wait for me!
The Force. Life creates it, makes it grow.
It's the energy between all things, the tension, the balance that binds the universe together.
The Force will be with you. Always. Always two there are. No more. No less. The shroud of the dark side has fallen.
At last we will reveal ourselves to the Jedi. At last we will have revenge.
I'm sold. I'm Captain of the Millennium Falcon.
What a piece of junk!
She may not look like much, but she's got it where it counts, kid.
This bucket of bolts is never gonna get us past that one thing.
Don't worry.
Jimmy, baby, hold together.
Blow that piece of junk out of the sky!
Might wanna buckle up, baby.
Every ship isn't for everyone. She needs a particular type of pilot.
There will be a substantial reward for the one who finds the Millennium Falcon. You are free to use any methods necessary, but I want them alive. No disintegration.
I had no choice. They arrived right before you did. I'm sorry.
Oh, God, it's a trap! It's a trap!
He's all yours. Bounty hunter.
You can run, but you
side. Join me. It is your destiny.
When you look at the dark side, careful you must be, for the dark side looks back.
I can teach you the power of the dark side.
When I found you, I saw raw, untamed power.
One of our troops has abandoned his unit.
Show me again the power of the darkness, and I will let nothing stand in our way.
The world is coming undone. Imperial flags reign across the galaxy.
The time to fight is now!
Force is with me, and I am with the Force.
The power that we are dealing with here is immeasurable.
We must face them. Fight them.
You don't know a thing about me.
I have lived long enough to see the same eyes in different people. Hope is not lost today.
Go ahead.
This was the live stream you were looking for.
Thank you for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, and
ringing a bell
so you'll be notified of our next upload. And as always, may the adventures be with you.